You know, for over 1,500 years, there's been one game that served as a battlefield for the mind, a proxy for war, and just a measure of pure genius. I'm talking about chess, of course. A game that has captivated humanity for centuries, and, believe it or not, is more popular today than it has ever been.
So, you've got to wonder, right? How did this ancient pastime manage to survive empires, revolutions, and even the rise of supercomputers to become this modern digital obsession? Well, let's dive in and unravel the story of the immortal game.
Okay, so first things first. Let's get back to basics and just look at the game itself. Because at its heart, chess isn't just a game. It's a battle, a full-on war on 64 squares.
The goal? It's simple, and it's absolutely ruthless. Checkmate. That means you have to trap your opponent's king, putting it under an attack that it cannot escape from. No way out. And here's the thing, there's no luck involved, no dice to roll. It's just pure, unadulterated strategy.
The battle itself, it takes place on a 64-square board. You've got two armies, white and black, staring each other down. Each player commands 16 pieces, everything from the humble pawn all the way up to the all-important king.
Now, if you're going to win this war, you absolutely have to know your soldiers. Each piece moves in its own unique way, and really understanding them, well, that's the key to the whole strategy.
First up, let's talk about the line warriors. You've got the rook, which is this total powerhouse that just charges in straight lines, up, down, left, right. Then there's its counterpart, the bishop, who owns the diagonals, just gliding across the board. When they work together, they can command all the open lanes of the battlefield.
And then there's the queen. She is, and there's no debate here, the most powerful piece on the board. Seriously, just imagine combining the power of a rook and a bishop into one single piece. That's the queen for you, an absolutely formidable weapon in any attack. Then you've got the knight. This piece is a bit of a weirdo, in the best way. It moves in this quirky L shape, and this is huge. It's the only piece that can literally jump over others. That makes it a master of the unpredictable, the perfect tool for a surprise attack.
So, you might be wondering, where did this incredibly complex game even come from? Well, its history is just as rich and strategic as the game itself. We're talking about a story that spans continents and centuries.
Okay, let's take a quick trip back in time. The journey starts around 600 AD in India with a game called Chaturanga, which actually represented the 4 divisions of the military. From there, it spread through Persia and into Europe. By about 1475, the rules we know today for powerful pieces like the queen started to lock in. Fast forward to 1886, and boom, we get our first official world champion, Wilhelm Steinitz. But the game's profile really exploded in 1972. You had the American Bobby Fischer versus the Soviet Boris Spassky. It became this huge symbolic Cold War battle. But by 1997, well, a completely new kind of opponent was about to step into the ring.
You see, for centuries, chess was seen as the ultimate test of human intellect, the pinnacle of our strategic minds. So, what happens when that intellect goes head-to-head with the raw, brute force calculating power of a machine?
Even Benjamin Franklin wrote about how chess teaches foresight, caution, all these amazing qualities of the mind. It was supposed to be the peak of strategic thinking, a purely human thing. At least, that's what everyone believed, until a machine was built specifically to challenge that very idea. The stage was set for the ultimate showdown, man versus machine. On one side, you had Garry Kasparov, the reigning world champion, who many consider the greatest player of all time. And on the other side, Deep Blue, an IBM supercomputer capable of calculating millions of positions per second. This was it. Human intuition and deep experience versus cold, hard, relentless calculation.
And the final score of their 1997 rematch, 3.5 to 2.5. Deep Blue had won. Now, it was a pretty narrow margin, built on 2 wins for the machine, 1 for Kasparov, and 3 draws. But make no mistake, it was an absolutely decisive moment in history.
Think about that. For the first time ever, a machine had defeated a reigning world champion in a classical match. This wasn't just about a game anymore. It was a landmark moment for artificial intelligence, and it changed the world of chess forever. It basically forced humans to evolve, to look beyond pure calculation and embrace even deeper, more creative strategies. So after the shock of Deep Blue, you'd think human interest in chess might kind of fade, right? I mean, what's the point if a machine can beat us? But something totally incredible happened instead.
The game didn't die. It was reborn online.
I mean, just look at this. In 2020, online chess just absolutely exploded. Platforms like chess.com saw their monthly signups more than double. All of a sudden, the game was more accessible and more popular than at any other point in its 1,500-year history. It's wild.
So what caused this digital renaissance? Well, it was basically a perfect storm. You had the massive success of the Netflix series The Queen's Gambit, which made the game cool and romantic for a whole new generation. At the same time, top players became these super charismatic streamers on Twitch, turning chess into a legit spectator sport. And of course, with global servers, you could find a perfectly matched opponent in seconds, which helped turn chess into a premier online esport.
It's just incredible when you think about the game's resilience. It journeyed from an ancient war game to a Cold War battlefield. It went from being conquered by machines to completely conquering the internet. So, after 1,500 years of constant evolution, you just have to ask, what is the immortal game's next move?